and the race to defend the title is on. Your defending champion, Dodgers, are back in action. The 2025 season is officially underway, kicking it off with a victory. My name is Ryan Bershinger. She is Monse Bolaños. This is season 2 of the Sick Podcast, the Dodgers Zone. Let's get into it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. The Dodgers Zone.
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game 1 of the World Series.
The sickest LA Dodgers podcast.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
It's gonna be sick.
And that party keeps on rolling.
So good. I've missed that sound. I've missed Joe Davis. You know, I can't believe we're back in it. Like I'm like, I feel like it's a blink of an eye and we're back trying to defend our title. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Oh, it's incredible. And with the baseball season returning, we get finally the sun is out later. It's beautiful. We get a nice return to normalcy. Summer nights are coming very soon. It's been cold for us for the last couple of weeks, but this weekend's going to be hot again. And you know what? Bring on summer. I'm ready.
It's not cold. Not for real people. It's not
for real people. Exactly.
It's not actually cold here. We're fine. We don't like it when it hits below 67. We're not good. No. So that's what Ryan means, that it's been cold, because it's like 59. And we're not good with that. We're not good.
Meanwhile, the Dodgers are in Japan where it is snowing. So they get to be real people, be with the real people, while we sit back here and there's a little bit of rain. And I'm like, oh, I'm cold. But let's talk about it. So the Dodgers have kicked off the season. Now we are recording this between the two games in Japan. So you'll get our reactions from game 1. Next week, we'll talk about Roki Sasaki's debut and game 2 and look more ahead into the regular season. We're keeping things just to game 1 right now, because after all, I mean, there's no way that some sort of earth-shattering Dodger news would happen between the two international games, right? There's no sort of precedent as to anything like that happening to us. So we're good. We're good. Let me just check here. Hold on.
Wood right now.
No gambling scandals have been announced today so far. So, hey, we're good. We're all good. We don't need to talk about any of that. All right. So the Dodgers kick off the season. Spring training has been fun. I got to go to spring training. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
We'll talk about that in a bit, because I wasn't invited to it. So, yeah, I mean, Dodgers have the best record in baseball right now.
Yeah,
something
exactly.
That we're probably going to get used to as the season progresses. You know,
that's very true. Assuming if they in fact win game 2, which if they don't, then all of this, what I'm about to say, just throw it out the window. But if they win game 2, start the season 2-0, it's entirely possible that this team could have the best record in baseball for every single day of the calendar season of 2025. That would be incredible.
And they could do it. That's just crazy. Like, the roster could do that. Obviously, you know, anything can happen. We literally didn't have 2 of our stars play. One was a late scratch. The other poor guy is sick. Can you imagine, like, traveling all the way to Tokyo, sick? Because apparently he was already sick before they left. And then you don't get any better. And I felt so bad about Mookie Betts. Like, that must be such a terrible little experience for him. And I say little experience because he's had so many experiences in his life that are so cool when it comes to baseball. You know, this is something minor, but it must suck to not be able to participate in game 1 of the season.
Yeah, especially with how special this pair of games is. The reports were that Mookie lost 15 pounds, which he doesn't look like a guy who has 15 pounds to lose anywhere on his body as it is, so that's a little frightening. Who knows? It could be like norovirus or something like that. I went on a cruise about a month ago, and on the last day of the cruise, I went through it a bit. I had a fever, and how do I put this? Nothing stayed inside of my body.
That's
that's, and I did. The good news is, when you go on a cruise, you just eat constantly.
Right.
So you're gaining weight like crazy. The good news is I lost all of that really fast.
Right.
That was for the few days after the cruise. I couldn't eat anything. So luckily for me, shed that weight really quick. So unfortunately for Mookie, I don't think he got to eat much in Japan, which sucks because Japan has phenomenal food. I've never been to Japan. I want to go desperately. It looks like the food is fantastic. I hear the food is fantastic. So, and I've had my fair share of sushi and ramen and everything back home in the States, and I love it all. But he didn't get to partake in any of that. They had that gigantic fish. You saw the pictures that Ohtani posted of this huge fish that they're slicing. Oh, that looked amazing. That looked incredible. And Mookie got to have none of it. I feel so bad.
I mean, I don't know if it looked incredible, but okay. I'll take your word for it as somebody who doesn't eat anything with a face. It was not like, you know what I mean? Like I literally was like, oh, keep scrolling. I don't want to see that. But I'll take your word for it. You can have all the faces you want on my behalf. So if we ever go to Japan and you want to eat the faces, you can have my faces. No problem. Got you.
Thank you. I will. I can eat my fair share. So
I know you will.
But yeah. So let's talk about the games. Yes, no Mookie and no Freddie. Freddie is experiencing irritation in his ribs, which acted up, of course, in the postseason. Not his ankle. Actually, it was the ribs that was a big problem for him. So that's not great. But of course, the idea is it's scar tissue that's still kind of dealing with him getting back into the swing of things. So hopefully just an extended rest here. I would imagine he just wouldn't play for their resumed spring training. They get back to the States. He can rest on it a bit, and hopefully that scar tissue can build back up and Freddie's good to go. But the Dodgers that were on the field, strong game. He scored twice, had a couple hits, a double in the ninth, and got around to score. Yoshinobu Yamamoto looked excellent. 5-inch 1-run ball. His swing and miss stuff is on. He's throwing splitters that are disappearing. This is... I have a take on Yamamoto that I want to get to in a bit because it is exciting to see him right off the bat look very strong. But I think the biggest thing overall from these two games is not what happened on the field in the actual game. It's the game existing itself. I've heard plenty of Dodger fans and baseball fans alike expressing their displeasure and this disagreement with the fact that the Major League Baseball season is opening internationally, and not only internationally, but at a time where barely anyone can watch it.
Right.
Of course, the game was on at 3 a.m. for us in Los Angeles. I had work last night, and then I had work this morning. So no, I did not wake up at 3 a.m. to watch the game. I did, however, watch the game at work because that's one of the benefits of working in sports media is kind of not only can I do it, I'm supposed to do it. So I did get to watch the game this morning. I, of course, knew what happened, but hey, that's fine. I still got to watch. I think it's incredibly special that these games are taking place in Japan. And I think a ton of credit is owed to both the Dodgers and the Cubs for not only committing to these games, but to really doing it right. The Dodgers don't need to have Roki Sasaki pitching in one of the first two games of the season. Right. In fact, need to have him at the major league level to start the season.
Right.
And he may very well go down to AAA once they get back to California, because he's a young guy. He needs to get his reps in, and they have such a loaded starting staff. They don't need to have him in the starting rotation right away. But despite that, the Dodgers did right by the Japanese fans and gave them Roki Sasaki on the biggest stage he's ever pitched on, which is his major league debut. Of course, he's pitched huge games for Japan. He's pitched in the World Baseball Classic. He's been phenomenal, and those are gigantic stages. I'm not discrediting that at all. But this is his major league debut, and he gets to do it in his home of Japan, and that's awesome. So I give a ton of credit to the Dodgers. Ohtani has showed up for the Japanese fans. He homered in one of the exhibition games. It's been awesome. And of course, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the Dodgers, again, doing right by the Japanese fans by making sure that both Yamamoto and Sasaki pitch in these games, because they could have easily had Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow open the season because they're their two best starting pitchers. But they had Yamamoto and Sasaki. And good on the Cubs for rolling out Shota Imanaga in the first game. They've got Seiya Suzuki as well. Like this was the perfect exposition for Major League Baseball in Japan. And this is a country that cares about the sport so deeply. I'm really happy that they got to experience it. And it doesn't anger me or dissatisfy me in any way that it's taken away a couple games domestically. There's 162 games in the season. We can watch the other 160. It's fine. So give these games to Japan when you can logistically do it. I think it's great that both the Dodgers and the Cubs did right by the Japanese fans in giving them a treat with their hometown stars.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think great on the Dodgers, great on the Cubs, everything you just said, because both of those teams didn't have to use these players on the first two games because they didn't want to. They obviously did it for the Japanese fan base that has been really great and really supportive for their players, not just the past couple of years, but over the years. They have always been present and there to support, their players. And I think how they did the game, everything I've seen seems like they just executed it as best they could. They made it as big of a deal as they could. And I'm sure the players appreciated that. I read that the, third market or like third party ticket sales were out of this world, more than like Super Bowl tickets. And it's like, yeah, it's so special. And I'm also not bothered that this is where they kick off their season. I will tell you what bothers me though, Ryan. This is what bothers me. Okay. You're going to come back and then you're going to play games that don't matter. I don't like it. No. You started your season and that's it. So I don't know how we need to fix that, but that's my only issue. I don't like that they come back and they play meaningless games. Why? The series against the Angels, make it count. Who cares? Make it count. We always play the Angel, the Freeway series right before the season. This time, make it count. I don't like this little pause. That is what I find annoying. But I don't think they've taken away our opening day. You think the first game here in LA is not going to be a mega opening day celebration? It's going to be like the Tokyo game didn't even happen. People aren't even going to care. They're going to handle this game like it's the first game of the season. Rightfully so. People won't go to work. It's going to be great because it's a holiday. Great. But the coming back and playing exhibition games once again, that's the only problem I have with this whole setup. It's the only thing I don't like.
No, I understand that. It definitely seems awkward because to go into the regular season, then back to preseason, then into the regular season, that doesn't happen to anyone else. I get the logistics of it because they are traveling back and forth and they've got to readjust and everything. But yeah, it's bizarre. It's weird.
Then let them readjust without playing. Like, I know that's like, well, why are they going to have such a whole week off? Well, because they went to freaking Tokyo. That's why they get a week off. Like I don't understand why that's so difficult to just do. And that way, like, it's early in the season. Nobody's going to say that they're going to lose their rhythm because they had an early week off. Like, I feel like that's acceptable to say, guys. It's okay to just be like, hey, they literally just traveled. They're going to take a week off and then get right back into it. I feel like it can be done. We're just acting like, I don't know, for some reason they're babies and we have to coddle them a little bit. I don't know, but that's literally my only problem.
No, I understand. It creates a sort of just a weird rhythm, but overall, I'm very happy that the Dodgers got to do this again. I've seen too many people expressing dissatisfaction over this, and
yeah.
Quite frankly, the domestic opening day is still going to be recognized as opening day by baseball fans everywhere. The Dodgers are opening the season at home with the Tigers, presumably going to get Tarek Skubal, probably against Blake Snell. It's going to be a huge game. You're going to have the ring ceremony, the banners, everything. And people are going to celebrate like crazy. Nobody is going to watch that game thinking, they played 2 games already. This is fake. It's fine. It's fine. And for those of you who are mad because it was at a time where you weren't going to wake up to watch it, that's okay. You shouldn't be expected to get up at 3 a.m. in the middle of the week to watch baseball. That's fine. Again, we've got the other 160. It's okay. The only like real complaints that anyone should have from this game is the Cubs, actually, because I didn't realize this. But it was Bo pointed out earlier. By the way, Bo is still on the show. Okay, he's just let's address it. Okay, no, we did not kick Bo off the show. Bo is still
Not
around. Not yet. We're close. We're this close. It's right now. I believe. Okay, sidebar. Don't start a podcast with your coworkers. Okay, just don't do it. It is for one reason. There's too many podcasts. You don't need one. Secondly, it is a logistical nightmare. It is not easy because if you're not working, guess what? That probably means your coworker is working. That's the nature of a 24/7 business. If we were all working 9 to 5s, this wouldn't be an issue. But we didn't choose that path for us. So yeah. Bo was supposed to be here originally, and then of course, things happen, and now he's not. So he's working. He's producing The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington. That's what he's doing. So Bo will be around. Monse and I will be around. We're gonna kind of do a dance throughout the season. Hopefully, we'll get all three of us as much as we can. But Bo pointed out to me earlier that these two games are both Cubs home games. I thought it was split because that makes sense. Like both teams volunteer to go to Japan. They only lose one home game. No, the Cubs lost 2 home games. And judging by that crowd, they weren't exactly Cubs home games either. As much as they also love Imanaga, Japan's very much becoming a Dodger country. So that's the Cubs would have a fair complaint in the fact that they lost 2 home games over this trip and potentially got 2 losses in those 2 home games. So I get that. It's kind of crazy that the Dodgers came out of this without having to give up a home game. Meanwhile, Guggenheim is literally sponsoring the entire series. Like this is a Dodger branded event through and through. And so the Cubs are doing the Dodgers a favor by taking on 2 home games to do this. That's pretty wild. So
it's probably honestly, like if you think about it, knowing that a lot of those fans aren't really there for the Cubs, this was going to be one of the only ways that the Cubs were going to get marketing and advertisement.
Yeah.
Like if you really, they were probably like, guys, if it's your home field, then your name will be everywhere. If it's not, we are not going to see anything that says Cubs. There's maybe one fan. So I feel like it was a little bit of both. Like, yes, they had to ask, but this was a way for the Cubs to have their name out there alongside all the Dodger stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it did benefit them, I think.
Yeah.
And like you said, 81 home games, they're fine.
Right.
They're fine.
Exactly. And it makes sense. They've got 2 Japanese stars as well that they want to make sure that they remind Japan, like, hey, we've got Shota here, we've got Seiya here, like we've got these guys too. And of course they know that Japanese baseball fans are, again, very passionate about the game. They're following all of their guys here. So overall, tremendous success. This is awesome that the Dodgers get to do it. Very happy for them.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Japanese stars in the majors, I've got a semi-hot take. I don't know. It's kind of hot because I think a couple of these are slam dunks, but so it all depends on one thing. I think that the 3 Japanese Dodger stars sweep the National League awards this season. Okay. That means the Shohei Ohtani MVP, Yoshinobu Yamamoto Cy Young, and Roki Sasaki Rookie of the Year. Again, I say it's semi-hot because I think 2 of these are slam dunks. Yeah. Assuming that Ohtani is able to get back on the mound and continues to be Shohei Ohtani, he hits 40-plus home runs, pitches 100 innings, he's got MVP locked up again.
Yeah.
It's people are still the award fatigue is going to happen with Ohtani at some point, but people are still especially if he's able to get back onto the mound after going through surgery again. And if he's effective on the mound, which he should be, he's Shohei Ohtani. And he still hits 40 home runs. They're going to give it to him easily. It's going to take somebody like a Juan Soto having a Triple Crown season to dethrone Ohtani from the MVP.
Right. Or Juan Soto or like Aaron, the same three names that are like, yes, last year's MVP favorites. Those are the same ones. So I think you're right that like it's Ohtani's to lose.
Yeah.
It's Ohtani's to lose because somebody else had a spectacular season. I mean, it's only game one, but like he looked good hitting that ball. What was he? 2 of 5, had the 2 runs scored in, and like the hits, he looked good. You know, that ninth double, in the ninth inning, that double hit, I was like, man, look at that. That was a nice hit. And I know it's only game one, but really it's like he hasn't skipped a beat.
Yeah. It is significant to point that out because he again is coming off of a surgery. So the fact that he's still looking like his usual self after this offseason, it's a great sign.
Yeah.
I do think Roki Sasaki is another slam dunk because if he is a featured part of this rotation for 75% of the season, he's going to pitch well enough to win the Rookie of the Year. There are a couple guys that are interesting, right? Like Dylan Cruz from the Nationals. We saw Max Clark with the Cubs. He's risen to the majors super quick. He could potentially contend, but it feels like Sasaki is the front runner there, assuming that he does what he's expected to do and is able to be in the rotation for a majority of the season, which then brings to Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He is currently tied at 11th for the best odds to win the Cy Young in the National League. Paul Skeens is the odds-on favorite, and perfectly makes sense. He had a fantastic rookie season. He should take a step forward. He should be dominant this year. The media loves him. If he has a great season, he'll win Cy Young easily. I'm not disputing that at all. But let's look at Yamamoto and think about this. There's a reason why he was such a sought-after free agent 2 off seasons ago. He's a phenomenal pitcher, and I think he's been a bit overshadowed because he came over the same time as Ohtani, and now we've got Sasaki here. And of course, he's now surrounded by Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow and an incredibly deep rotation. But he has elite swing and miss stuff. He's coming off of a season where he didn't put a ton of mileage on his arm because he missed much of the season due to an injury. He now has postseason World Series experience. He's entering his second season into the league where he should be able to take a jump in his production. I think Yamamoto can do it. If he pitches at the level that we expect him to, he's also going to be facing teams, third or fourth best starters. Typically, that doesn't make a big difference. But the idea is the fact that he is in a rotation where he's going to be able to get suitable amount of rest. If they use a 6-man rotation, which I really think they should, he'll be able to just pitch once a week. That will, again, keep the mileage off of his arm, keep him fresher, keep all the guys in the rotation fresher. It would be such an important thing for this rotation to be able to do that. I think Yamamoto would benefit the most out of that, and we would see peak performances from Yamamoto this season. So if he does all that, all 3 of these guys could come away with awards this offseason. How do you like that?
Yamamoto you're right, the one that I feel like is least likely because Paul Skeens, there's no reason to think that Paul Skeens doesn't, take a step up, just like Yamamoto. I feel like we don't know Yamamoto's full potential yet. We're still scratching the surface, but I guess that's the same thing with Paul Skeens, right? So I don't see Paul Skeens being dethroned, but what about this voter fatigue we're talking about? What if there is a fatigue with wanting to give 3 Japanese players major awards? They're not going to take it away from Ohtani. And so I feel like if it's Yamamoto and Skeens and they're like the same exact, year, I feel like they're going to give it to Skeens. Like he might be the one who suffers from voter fatigue because like you just said, all of the attention is on Ohtani, and you're right. And then Roki Sasaki has this like new and exciting, attention. With Yamamoto, it's like people are looking forward to what he's going to do. But you're right. The attention is probably on those other 2 right now more than it is on Yamamoto.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that the fatigue would come into play where they wouldn't want to just give all the Dodgers awards, right?
That's
like they wouldn't just load up one team with all of the awards. So that's why it's kind of hot to say that, because it would depend on voters just piling on the Dodgers, which would piss off everyone. But it would certainly be deserved if that happens. So
Sure, right.
there's a world where it does. So yeah,
I'm not saying it can't happen, but
yes.
that's the one. Yamamoto would be the one where I'm like, that's going to be hard for him to win it.
Yeah. I saw Dylan Hernandez saying this right before we started recording, and I just want it to be known. I came up with this before Dylan put that out there. I don't want to be lumped in with Dylan Hernandez. That's the point I'm making. Oh well, look at that. Anyway,
look at them. They're best friends. They're besties.
Well, Monse, yeah, this is exciting. We're finally getting back into it. We're gonna be coming at you throughout the season. You were at the stadium today. Could you provide us with a little update? There's been a lot of construction at the stadium this offseason. Where's the stadium at right now?
Well, now it looks like a field again, so that's good. Because the longest time it didn't look like a baseball field. It was really weird. It looks like a field again, and they're doing the final finishing touches down on level 1, which is how the players get to their clubhouses. It's also where we have a lot of the trophies. Some of the trophies were actually shipped to Japan for just the exhibition games, and then they'll come back. So still some things are moving. Our tours are not back to the normal route just yet. But we literally have a game on Sunday. So hopefully by Sunday, everything's ready to go because we have a game. That'll be great.
Nice.
Yeah.
So they whipped that together. Well, what exactly? It's mainly for it was clubhouse expansion, right?
Mega clubhouse, batting cages, weight room. The dugouts were kind of taken out and then I think just put kind of right back in, but everything was gone. Everything was gone for a hot second. But yes, all the remodel, all the upgrades, clubhouse, weight room, batting cages, all that is underground on both sides was completely redone. And little facelifts here and there, but that's the main one that everyone's very excited about. So yeah.
That's cool. Look at the Dodgers ownership, top to bottom. They win a World Series, and they say, "Listen, we're still going to invest like crazy in the team. We're going to invest in this stadium like crazy. We're just
keep hating." That's what they're saying. Keep hating.
Yeah,
we're gonna keep spending money. So
well, yeah. To wrap it up, I did go to spring training.
I was gonna say you have to share about your bachelor party.
Yes.
That I was not invited to because apparently I'm not a bachelor, so I gotta go. Yeah.
There's some qualifications.
I didn't make the cut. Whatever.
No, it's a lot of fun. Got to take in a Saturday day game at Camelback Ranch for Dodgers White Sox. First time I've ever been to spring training, so really cool. I think a couple things that surprised me. And I don't know why it surprised me because I as was happening, I'm like, oh yeah, why wouldn't? It's very quiet. the stadium is loaded. It was a Saturday, so it's practically a sellout. There were a ton of people there, but from the first pitch, it was super quiet. And I'm like, well, I guess nobody's cheering or anything. It's spring training. It doesn't matter. But I still figured you hear chatter. The concourses were loaded. The lines for food took forever. But
it seems like a more casual experience.
Yeah. It's just hanging out at a park, / a bar. It was a great spot to hang out. The next day went to the Angels stadium in Tempe. It was the Angels and Reds. And that we just did outfield, the lawn seating. Stood in the shade for 6 innings and then eventually kind of walked near home plate, and the ushers were like, yeah, you could just sit there. So we go up for the last inning and a half in the section at the top of the section behind home plate. And this was funny because again, super quiet. But this one made more sense. It was the Angels. So later in the game, a lot of people had left, and the Angels are up 4-0. And the Reds, they got one. There was one out, but they got a walk and a hit, and then somebody there was an RBI somewhere along the way. So it's now 4-1, and again, just quiet. 2 outs left in this spring training game. And this guy a section over is like, don't let him get back into it. And I'm like, dude, who cares? Like, what are you doing? And then the next batter comes up. He gets that batter out, and then the next batter, he like falls behind 2-0, and he's like, come on now, lock in. And I'm like, geez, dude. Like, just calm down. This doesn't matter. So I guess he took it to heart because he then got the out and finished off the inning. So maybe it was his dad.
One person really cared. One person really cared.
He was dedicated. I'm assuming it was a family member. It had to be because I don't know any of these guys out there. And so but no, really cool, really fun experience. I would love to go back. It's just super casual and fun, and it's great that everybody is just all like in the area. Scottsdale is a fun town. So Phoenix is wild. Have you ever been to Phoenix?
Not like to experience it, like in passing. You know
okay.
what I mean?
Yeah. Phoenix looks exactly like what you think Phoenix looks like. I don't know, like, which I said to like everybody agreed. It's in the desert, so but like not only are you surrounded by desert, but like all the buildings are brown, like all the signs are like everything is designed to like blend in with the desert, and you're like, why? Like, it's kind of odd. So it just looks like a gigantic desert city. But hey, it was a lot of fun, and they got a lot of fun places to go. Had a great dinner one night. Went out in Scottsdale one night. The bar scene is wild, so that was a good time. I really enjoyed it.
I feel like at one point spring training was like that's where you went, and very few people would go, and you would get like up close and personal with some of the players. And like now spring training, people plan for spring training. Like they do a whole trip around it instead of spending money on maybe a couple of games. They like want to go to spring training. It's become such a thing to do. I haven't done it yet, but it has become such a thing to do. And I'm like, man, I gotta do it. I gotta maybe next year I'll go. But it seems like such a fun time. And it's just it's grown in popularity every year. Yeah.
There was a lot of people at the Dodgers. It was a Saturday, but like it was pretty packed there. I thought so when I bought the tickets and looking at the seating chart, I thought I bought the front row of a section, and I actually bought the back row, which I was like kind of mad about at first, but because like my idea was like, oh, cool, we're gonna sit in the front row. Sure. Like people will come up, we'll just get autographs. We can talk to players if we want. Not at all what happened. But we get to our seats in this back row, and then I'm looking at the front row, and it's just a whole bunch of kids just standing there. And I was like, you know what? It's good that I didn't get the front row, because like I would have then come in us like 8 big dudes and just would have kicked out all these kids and been like, hey, these are our seats. Get out, buddy. What do you think you're doing?
I would have seen videos of you all over social media.
I
would have to been like, Ryan, you are embarrassing us back home. Get it together.
And like during the game, like Blake Snell stopped at one point and signed a couple balls for people, but otherwise like people are just like really passing by super quick. It's not like a ton of stuff happening. My brother did get a ball from the Angel game and it was during the last inning. Somebody fouled it off back behind home plate and over into the parking lot, and my brother found it. It was under a car. So you know what? Hey, that's a win.
Yeah, absolutely. The first to kick off the season, you know?
Yes.
That's the way to do it.
Exactly. Cool. And that is how the Dodgers kicked off this season. They start things off with a win. Yeah. By the time this episode airs, they will have played again in Tokyo. Hopefully they are 2-0. And if not, whoops. Sorry. That's on us.
Last year, the international game was in South Korea, right? Yes. And Yamamoto remember he kind of got lit up on his wrist?
He got destroyed.
Yeah, and so I am hoping that because it is Japan, for Roki Sasaki that his nerves are a little more tamed. Like he's going to be nervous.
Yeah.
But that should feel like home. That should feel like he's not, I feel like when he pitches at Dodger Stadium for the first time, he may be more nervous than the way he's going to feel at Tokyo Dome. And so hopefully he has like a good outing. Because I remember Yamamoto's very first outing was like, that's not what we were hoping for.
Yeah.
And obviously he wasn't that. Obviously he's much better than that very first outing. Yeah, so I'm hoping Roki Sasaki has an easier outing for the very first time as a major league player,
Yeah, I remember Yamamoto's issue was among many things was like there was a K-pop group that was performing and it like delayed his warm up and it messed with everything. So hopefully they had a couple performances in this first game here. Maybe not a super elaborate performance this time. We'll let Roki get an adequate warm up in, and he'll be good to go.
Yeah, no, just make it an American artist. They got nervous because it was a K-pop group.
That's true.
They got nervous. K-pop and their little skirts and whatnot. Just make it an American person, and then they won't care. He won't care. He'll be like, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready to pitch.
Exactly. Yeah. It worked for Yoshi. He got to meet members of a pop group ahead of the one of the exhibition games, and then he showed up. So you know what? Hopefully, Roki's already gotten to meet these artists, and he's about to mow everyone away. All right. Well, on behalf of Bo Benson, my name's Ryan Berchinger. She is Monse Bolaños. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. We're going to be with you all season again. We were with you all season last year, and the Dodgers won a World Series. So I think we're partly responsible. So we're going to test that theory this year. And, if they win it again, that's
clearly
everybody should then be subscribing to this channel. So you can follow us on YouTube, follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you like. Again, we'll be with you all season. So we thank you very much to the fans in Japan. Hopefully you've been enjoying this series. This is awesome for you guys. Domo arigato, everyone. Thank you very much. We'll catch you next time.
Ciao.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, The Dodger Zone, on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.